aso na enka ne energy minister Peter Bewu ya na no ye kwatro abe ya hohoi oh
Matthew energy minister
okopede o what say na poko pede wo energy ministry say
Ghana
pass Omampenia ya na adwin so appointing Napo as energy minister Napo as energy minister your list NC
Ajwa
boss na Peter Bewu so wo free energy ministry ho no akọ railway ministry
sa railway ministry no the Omampenia ye dika ka chense sa railway ministry no look Ministry of Transport o de badjo
transport na yes ye fan ko set transport
but the question is one said say atete standing today bi ni ade emrem e wo hosa I mean transition period no we make appointments they go for vetting and then they are sworn in that's what masho madwuma say
ministers no Zai Dimbina Bano by Kanoforiata, Kojo Ponkroma, Alima Mahama, local government.
Yeah.
And wine Bakubika home. The chief of staff Krata now Choino.
I think it's alien to
Omampeni were appointed chief of staff.
As we speak.
Yes.
Mami Fremo Parani Nimuno, Anambwa.
But the point is Omunina Juma
so we don't have a chief of staff.
Mr. President is supposed to form a new government.
We don't have a chief of staff.
Who Krata be about Bontin said Omampeni the chief of staff in it. Anyway, see you
Joe. And was say Dr. Ya was said Duchum. Ya no ye deputy education minister. Wono so Nyankopon ya dom na ni ti ye ya wo ho. Penifo betuma ma no so mo no akwa education minister.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic.
Obefi deputy no akwa education minister. So no ba question na po anan.
I mean, we ya kawa. Omampeni ya enwan na fata no educhu.
Wono manyamfo dan botwe nso. Obeko Ministry for Local Government and Rural Development.
Dan botwe so fata. Dan botwe betimi aye.
Okay. And daily guide say your ministers be one ma wo mu de o matete say mampanyi be maintain yomo. Which definitely BBC say you be alone.
And yeah.
I see the permit say kedo for wiata say wono no Ghana photo sample because I don't know sikan the entry for my ho hweso sa.
There be.
Sikan the entry for my ho hweso sa.
Ken wo wa
go for wiata the obeko so ahwe sikan.
Aji wo fie oye.
Sikan there be would be sikan me me wale tempia me wo dem be ja me. Would be for aka ki kura nya obi a ho obi asasa.
Na ken wo hwan na fa no fa.
Pepe. Nti ono ne de enonom sanso ana road minister Kwesi Amoakwata ono so maintained
ono so nya de Omampeni
Eslo Wusu Akufu communication minister
ono so Omampeni fa sanka no
food and agriculture Dr. Wusu Afri Akoto might be maintained
ono so ye Omampeni chochomucho bo no ne kase ne kase nka wa bre but ode
Alan Cash nso trade and industry
Alan Cash Omampeni finance
Sele Ayukoboche foreign affairs and regional integration
ano so nya de Omampeni be touch
upon kroma de o say na de he na e upon kro ile fro no de amahwan ti kodwo de tetene de delegate ka chese we kodwo will be maintained na so bekoso ana watena na konwa
information ministry
information
so kodwo de wa maintain na me
they said the aka mo say attorney general and a delegate who nim
attorney general no it is very likely sir very likely
general
okay
it is likely sir the past attorney general one shot on a cranidim list of ministers
okay oh my list no fresh ministers or mo feel say or more money first timers
okay bobi so
okay was a fresh ministers Dr. Anthony Insiasare it's my health minister
yes former director general Ghana Health Service ono aso na ye abai spokesperson yeah and see
saso no mo say Francis Asenso Boache so no the ono Bantima MP.
Deputy Chief of Staff, former.
And Samuel Bujinapo, sa Woman, they say more ministerial positions. Now, Senso Boache, dear, Minister for Works and Housing.
There be. Okay, now where you list.
And answer what times?
There be. Abia Boachi.
And a Jenna Ponso Bako Lands and Natural Resource Ministry.
There be.
Caretaker ministers, no?
Yes.
Kwasi, we fair fidina fe yefia na ya discuss na Honorable Haruna Idrisu. Yeah, eka same be fa ho. So we can listen.
Caretaker ministers. Well, they nimni say aban bi aba onemi the ministers in 24% your mo yejuma.
Yes.
Now or the krata come rasibidwem with that list. Say enkrofo yi na mapa o mo a me pese me no mo yejuma. Enti mrasibidwa for mesre say de mo ye ne da no. Mon kwa setena na montumi veti o mon tentem and there o man peni to me dia this record actually I'm on speed into me sremo wo de monya ne tentem mame na afi o montumi mbeboa me we no ya antini say hu ne sa o man peni say some caretaker ministers through the former chief of staff.
Yes.
And into na me bisa sa question is say oye chief of staff ana
and into na me so make say nya yenim
you understand
any
oye chief of staff ana because o man penny en country Ghana for you say wa appoint chief of staff intino or no na oye chief of staff or bureaucrat the name ni so a former so man penny maintaining na o ma yehu na fe. Okay, great. Now moving on, these caretaker ministers, well, what share Presidential Transition Act now? Must some leeway now. Me kind quickly. Maybe a leeway no war. My leeway on my penny a bit to me. Yes, but the Constitution is supreme. A 1992 Constitution, no. A supreme. And no na yenina. Yes, so at the year Juma. See you quickly. Number say okay. Minya the Presidential Transition Act. Now yes, okay. Now Osha Presidential Transition Act now. Section 14(1) Act 845. It states say all ministers, deputy ministers, presidential staffers, such as the chief of staff and the executive secretary to the president, and non-career ambassadors and high commissioners ceased to hold office when the president's tenure ended January 7th. Ceased though to hold office. This is the Presidential Transition Act. And it's almost easy to hold office. I hear him say the 7th January and now the midnight of Satan, they all cease. Chief of staff, deputy chief of staff, executive secretary, ambassadors, high commissioners. So who is the chief of staff now?
Yes.
You understand? This is the presidential. Who is the chief of staff now? Autocrat. Now, jump it. Fast forward. Niembra. The entire maker say there is a leeway. Emma or Mampeni or the year way. Okay. Section 14(2) of the Presidential Transition Act, 845, allows the president to appoint a person to perform the functions of all those mentioned above for a specified period. It allows the president to appoint somebody to do their work.
And the honor caretaker ministers and standing ministers.
But the point is that now in doing so, I'm asking question, and will be obey me provide the answer. No, obey me provide it. Omampeni by CJ, what is say Omampeni the above bonting say, my appointed Fremont Parry as caretaker chief of staff.
Debbie.
What?
Debbie.
Okay. And see, on what grounds and a mammy Fremont Parry trust akrata.
Okay. Say on that score.
Yes.
Chief of staff on there.
Yes.
Say we kakra because on some of the ministers any day say na can at TCC.
Yeah.
Emma kwine.
Yes.
But chief of staff now wo to me when you to me
you understand. And no man penny ma Ghana for NTS my appointing man more parry to be the caretaker chief of staff and sana my appointed a substantive one. So I stand for correction. Lawyer Samson I any move to me I bet him. On what grounds? To me, Ben no directed by the president. In what capacity as what? Say Otro or they crate Babontin say these ministers should remain at post and I said they should go back and be there till say you're appointing ministers. Now in any case,
we are appointed.
In any case, the ministers now you see but they cannot take policy decisions. So what are they going to do? What is there? Protecting they must go there. What is at the Ministry of Finance? And here was a kind of now protect what is there. Information ben a information ministry could you upon chroma and was say or now protect. What is there? Local government, what is there? Intia Hajia Alima Mahama. And what's sort of now protecting?
Because I remember if you say your chief directors were on and woman and committing your actually until
why is Penny in a hurry? Some ministries were decided say it was say and Crawford are they watchmen? Are they security men? The ministry exists. With all due respect to Mr. President. Mr. President, take time. Formal government, my due process and take it place. Let the people go to parliament. Young fetium. Now, mobile, what this way, and now only could you upon chroma. Did you not say, sir, you know, the show monster red, gold, green, and the mouth to me, Meboa, and I would yako. Mamunko parliament, or mobile, what this are to me, na show monster. I'm not quite so work for you.
Yeah.
It's wavy, and you see why the selected. She ministries are yes, you are mon power. Finance, local government, information ministry, and day. Information ministry, and day. Four.
Finance, information, local government. Is it health?
There be back could become Mami Yimbra.
Yeah.
Now quickly, Mami Yimbra na fi Ghana for just second. May hear Basisia na fi.
You know, as we speak there, we have these caretaker ministers.
Yes.
One more actually until some penny.
Great.
Because
trade and industry.
Alan, yes.
You're the Kratani Babon we need 2 minutes or the Sacratani.
Trade. Alan. You understand? Now, young court case way. There was a case in I think 1997 or so. Quickly, Mami share this particular case. Now, afe yenfa and also and toto and yamahona afe yenshe. And then again, as I said, lawyers know mutien. I'm betting on my some education. Now, this case of the JH versus the People case, where as reported by the Ghanaian Times then, and Amefa. Okay. And you can't JH, it was Mr. JH Mensah, on a plaintiff, on the Assembly Court Supreme Court at the time. And there was a 5-member panel, and it's not so. Now, what was the case in the first place? Ansana, unanimous decision, no eba. Now, 5-member panel, it was presided over by Mr. Justice G.E.K. Akins on a presiding. Now, ruling on the buy, me kind quickly, but could be okay. The judges in the majority were Mr. Justice George Aqua, Mr. Justice C.F. Hifron Benjamin, Mr. Justice A.K.B. Ampia, and Miss Justice Sophia Ekufu. That is the past Chief Justice. Mr. Justice Aqua who delivered the majority lead judgment, said the meaning of prior approval had not been defined anywhere in the 1992 Constitution. He said if the standing orders adopted by Parliament to approve the ministers and their deputies did not infringe on the 1992 Constitution, that action could not be deemed to be unlawful. Now, Mr. Justice Akwa referred to the debate of the Consultative Assembly, which plaintiff relied heavily upon, and said expressions like screening, assessing, and scrutiny were used in addition to vetting. He, however, rejected the argument of the Attorney General that the Supreme Court had no power to inquire into the business of Parliament, saying that the court had powers under Article 130 to decide on all matters relating to interpretation of the Constitution. Mamimfa we embra. Okay. Now the court held by another 4-1 majority decision that upon the true and proper interpretation of certain provisions of the Constitution, no person, no person can in each Parliament of the Fourth Republic, after a reasonable time from that Parliament inauguration, act as a minister or deputy minister of state without the prior approval of Parliament. This is a case that was determined by Supreme Court. Now, a DNMA case whereby J.H. Mensah realized that at the time some people were being appointed, said the caretaker ministers until I was said the Supreme Court for interpretation. 5-member Parliament majority decision, it was 4 against 1. Wow. They were emphatic. Said no person proud to Parliament approval. Let's just say until say Parliament approve you. Want to be holding acting as minister or deputy. And we know say Supreme Court is final. So if Supreme Court has ruled, then again lawyers in the but Kwesi Obi Subeka say enunti we mu enye substantive no. The point is we are emphatic. They see no person proud to Parliament's approval. So say Parliament approval, you can't hold yourself. Okay. Honorable Haruna Idrisu. Yes. Yes.
I've seen some ministers still hold themselves about as if they are ministers. That is unlawful, that is illegal, that is unconstitutional. As we speak today, there is no minister in Ghana. And therefore, there is no. There is not. No, he got it wrong. Go and read the Sussant ruling in J. Mensah versus Attorney General, 1997 Supreme Court ruling. Their mandate have lapsed until they are nominated, go through vetting, prior approval of Parliament. They cannot hold themselves out as ministers. The same J. Mensah of New Patriotic Party questioned it when Kwame Pepe and Co were asked to follow through. So, there's a Presidential Transition Act. The president must be law-abiding, rule of law. As far as we are concerned, there's nothing like acting minister. The Supreme Court ruling does not recognize an acting minister.
So what will the minority do about it?
And I say the Supreme Court ruling, J. Mensah versus Attorney General, I have a copy I'll read to you, does not recognize any person purporting to hold himself as minister and wanting to exercise the authority and mandate of a minister. Their time have lapsed. That is why it's interesting. What happened in Parliament, we saw some ministers are being pointed that they gave command to soldiers or military or police at that material time at midnight. There was no minister for defense, there was no minister for interior. Whoever gave that authority acted unlawfully and will hold him accountable to that. So there was no authority. I say there will be an inquiry to understand some people's conduct and whether that conduct is acceptable in a democracy. The president is wrong in law and his conduct is unconstitutional. He should be the last person to be acting in breach of the law, particularly when the Supreme Court ruling in J. Mensah versus Attorney General 1997 said that there can be no minister and there's nothing like a holding until that minister is nominated with the prior approval of Parliament. I'm not aware that Parliament has approved any person to hold himself. What the Presidential Transition Act provides is that you hand over to the heads of bureaucracy.
And the leader of the NDC caucus, Kwesi.
Asamna yekalen one dao ena Haruna Abosuno. You see, I am questioning the reason why Omampeni be taking steps be say through a chief of staff Ghana for Omampeni Nankasa and Fakrate Biamba Bonti. Of course, Omampeni owes a duty to let us know why the best serving as chief of staff. And chief of staff and show Omampeni bottom na why we was so Ghana for who say this person is my chief of staff. Yes, because at the end of the day, taxpayers' money.
Right.
Yes, CJ.
Yeah. Oh, fancy question.
Pretty simple, sir. Omampeni a lawyer. The law very well. And see, for Omampeni to take this step, which part of the law?
Well, let's wait and hear from.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, we hear from them, from the government. Yes,
we will ask questions. Now, provide the answers.
Absolutely.
Say, yes, no man penny jna ya or the two sana mon way. The man penny jna bibiswa. But I was all my own.
In the end, you be appointing information minister. No, I bet you much.
No, but there's a government spokesperson. Kasafa election
petition. When you from letter they buy or Kasafa election petition.
Kasafa election petition. Yeah.
We have civil servants who are chief directors. For now, let them Onya butre forming a government. You know, so be forming government. They mum till there was a numbers no.
Numbers there or better.
Fatima Trami bisa no so nya we. But that's a say I'm not sure about Adwaso Nsem